Okay, men, we're continuing to take a look at Jesus. The Bible says in Romans chapter 8, verse 29, that we've been predestined to be conformed to His image. And we've been taking a look at Jesus' manhood. Jesus was all God and He was all man. And I believe that we as men should be conformed to Jesus' image of manhood. So we're taking a look at some of the things that I'm sure many of you are familiar with, but maybe just highlighting them in terms of how they relate to our manhood. And the thing I want to talk about this week, or take some time, is talk about Jesus had a perfect balance between toughness and tenderness. Tenderness and toughness. He was able to balance those things out. And I believe that we as men, there's a certain side that we need to be tough. And it almost seems like that side of manhood, and I'm not just talking about like warriors or like football players or things like that. There's a certain toughness that you have to be a father. There's a certain toughness that you have to compete in the workplace. I mean, there's a certain internal toughness that you have to have. And even being married at times, there might be a certain toughness that you have, a strength on the inside of you. But on the same hand, you've got to have the tenderness as well. I've raised 7 children, and I'm grateful that all 7 of them are serving the Lord. My youngest is 18, but all of them are serving the Lord today. And there's a certain toughness that you've got to have to raise children in the environments that we're living in today, and especially the vile things that are out there. There's a certain level of toughness that you have to have. But on the same hand, you have to have tenderness. And I believe that there's an assault on the tough side of things. Sometimes in culture they don't want us to be tough or be hard or maybe exemplify hard love or tough love kind of thing. They just want us to be tender. But you need a proper balance between the two. And I know in raising kids, there were times I had to be tough, but there were also times I had to be tender. And I believe Jesus exemplified that to us. There were times He would call us Pharisees, Sadducees. He'd call them snakes and broods of vipers. And He even called His own disciple Peter the devil one time. But on the same hand, at the widow of Nain, when He went there and they saw the procession, Jesus stopped the casket and raised that boy from the dead. There were times Jesus was tender, and there were times He was tough, showing us what a man was supposed to be like. So this week, we're going to talk about a proper balance between tender and tough.